Okay. I just got done with the team meeting. We had a little bit longer team meeting today, so.
So no preamble?
No, I mean, I thought there was, I can, but,
No, let's go ahead.
okay.
You watched the sudden change plays, first downs, a couple run plays. Do you regret being conservative?
You're talking about like the 4-minute situation? Yeah, I know there's the first one, I think we ran the ball twice. The last one, we ran it and then we threw it and we threw it. You look back at that, the 4-minute situation, there's a lot of time management discussions, the questions that we had going into it, because they had 3 timeouts at the time. So, we've talked about that in the OTAs and training camp, that we've got to be able to be a team that can run it when they know we're going to run it. And that's what we didn't get done yesterday. You have to do that just to try to get, so they use their timeouts, and really we're looking to get a first down. Now, it's not to say you won't throw it on 3rd down, but we really wanted to strain our guys that this is a must time. We've got to be able to run the ball here.
You hadn't been able to run it at all up until that point, maybe 1 or 2 plays. How much does that shift your thinking in those situations? Hey, it's been a struggle all day, let's maybe take a shot.
Sure, yeah, and I think, when you're looking at getting to manageable situations, if it was 1st and 10, and then it got to 2nd and 6, and then it got to 3rd and 3, and then, you do something off of that, to put yourself in better position. Because when we're down in 3rd and 3s and 3rd and 4s, we're much better, obviously, than 3rd and 10s like we were prior to this game. So that was the idea, to run the ball to get us into a manageable 3rd and down.
So overall, you stand by Greg's calls on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Looking at the running game over the last 3 games, has it constantly been the same problem?
You know what? There's some things like targeting and how we do our scheme that we need to clean up. There's times, I just showed about 60 plays to our players, on everything that we've been talking about. And, there's times where you see it, early in the game, there might be times where you get 3 yards, 4 yards, 2 yards, and you hope that as the game goes on that you break out one that's 13 yards or 14 yards. And we had some of those early in the game. But we just didn't finish with it. In an opportunity like that 4-minute situation that Ryan was just talking about, those are the times you've got to be able to run the ball, and even if they load up the box. Now, the question could be, do you get big to run, or do you spread them out to run? That's a good discussion. That's the discussion we've had.
Quick follow-up on that. Do you miss not having a fullback? It sounds like it's an excuse.
Right.
Would you like someone else?
I think not having Ben Koyak kind of changed our line of thinking going into it. A situation like that, sometimes you get 3 tight ends in the game and you get a little bit bigger. So without Ben, it changed our line of thinking some.
Did you see guys just not winning their one-on-ones?
I would say if you look at the penetration hurt us. You saw more purple jerseys on our side of the ball than we anticipated. And sometimes that can happen with zone schemes, but it was just happening too frequently.
It sounds like your defensive plan against the Ravens worked, but you had 3 or 4 major penalties that kept drives alive. How frustrating is that, and how do you correct it? It seems like it's happening every single week.
Well, the total number of penalties went down. The total number of foolish penalties went down, but we still had some. Here it is, a 2-minute situation, and we get a hand to the face of the quarterback. We had hands to the face with Dante. So you're right. We still, that was, like I said, a big emphasis in there that, sure, it went down from where we were, but it's still not good enough. We're still having these situations come up in critical times.
What was different about this team meeting? You said it was a little longer. What were you trying to impress upon?
Well, I think, we went through a bunch of plays. And just the big point is consistency, and it's a game of inches. And there's times like, for example, Blake, where you see great accuracy, multiple times. His completion percentage was 63%. That's improving to where it was in the past. But it's also a game of inches. There's a 3rd down situation where it's just off the fingertips of Allen Robinson, overthrew Marquise Lee, a little bit. It's those things. We had one, Telvin Smith made 3 great plays, and then there's one where he dropped a little bit too far and allowed a completion to happen. And that was the big message that I was pointing out to them, that the NFL it's a game of inches, and you have to do it consistently. And we're not doing it. We're not making enough of those consistent plays in those times.
Did you have a conversation with Blake at all?
Yes.
His body language after the game?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? He's hurting. There's no doubt about it. You know, he puts a weight on his shoulders, and you know, like any quarterback. I mean, if there's blame, that's he's going to be his own worst critic, and if there's criticism, he's going to accept that. And so he's putting a lot on him right now because he knows that he wants to play better and give more to this team. But like we pointed out in the team meeting, there's multiple good plays there. It's everybody. I mean, it wasn't just Blake or Telvin or it's Jalen Ramsey. It was multiple guys that we pointed out just how important these little things are.
Gus,
But
does Blake not look?
Did you have a conversation with him about his body language at the game's end? You know, coming off the field, leaving the field with 15 seconds to go, hurling the mouth guard into the stands. He didn't.
No.
Does he not look right to you on the field? It seems like he's maybe hesitating a little bit.
Well, when you take a look at the whole game, and you pointed out, like I took out plays and just said, let's look at his accuracy, and you pulled out a bunch of plays, and when you watch it that way, you see some great throws and some great plays. He extended plays, made some plays by extending it. He got out of the pocket, made some plays. Critical 3rd and 2 to Allen Robinson, right where it needs to be. So when you look at those things, I can see why it was 63%. But I think like everybody, you want more from everybody. And, I think for him, he looks and there's missed opportunities out there for explosive plays. We only had 3 explosive plays on offense. That's not who we are. And when you take a look at him, it wasn't that the routes weren't designed. There were opportunities for explosive plays. We just missed them.
Do you just get a sense that he's at a crisis of confidence at any
No,
point?
no, nothing like that.
Okay, what about his mechanics? Are those as clean as they were last year?
Well, his accuracy is up.
Okay.
His accuracy's up. So, I think it's just, what I'm hoping not is, hoping that he isn't at, is where he's trying to put it all on him, and it's created some anxiety, and now he's pushing himself, or, now you're seeing some inconsistencies at times. And that's been some of my conversation with him.
With that said, 3 years in, he's taking sacks late in crunch time, losing time, losing yardage. How do you coach that out?
Well, that's right. That's situational football. And we have to understand that. Just same thing with our team. We have to find ways to win. Really, you look back at the Green Bay, San Diego game was bad. Not even go back there. But Green Bay, when you're on the 14-yard line and it's 3rd and 2, you have a chance to win the game. And then Baltimore, you have 2 opportunities inside the 40 to win the game. Just get a first down and let's kick a field goal. If that's the worst case scenario, that's the part that our team has to learn. And that part right there could very easily have swung in our favor, but it didn't, and there's a reason for it. And that's what I think this meeting was about, to say, you got to figure this out now. These are the reasons why. And, let's point them out on film.
Gus, were you aware that the quarterback do that? I mean, the quarterback in this league seems to get you over that hump in those situations.
He can. Everybody can. The offensive line, can do it too. I think everybody takes responsibility into it. It can be a receiver, it can be offensive line, it could be a quarterback, but it's probably going to fall more on the quarterback.
Were you aware, Gus, that Blake left the field early?
Left the field early to go in the locker room?
Were you aware of that at the end of the game?
No.
I know it was a very intense and very private conversation that you had with him in the locker room yesterday, but we were all in there and observed that. Without breaking any of that confidence, can you give us kind of the tone of what you were trying to tell Blake at the time?
No, I was just seeing how he was doing and, giving my unwavering support for him.
Hey, second to last in 25-yard passes this year, led the league in that last year. Are you guys, is it just not there, or is he so concerned about?
Well, that's a big part of that. The explosive passes. Your percentage of scoring goes up when you get explosive plays, whether it's run or pass in a series. So that's going to be a big part of what we do. And when you watch the tape and watch the film, you're going to see opportunities that were out there, and we just didn't hit them.
Is he so unwilling to take some of those shots?
No, not unwilling.
So you don't see his aggressiveness disappear?
No, not at all. And that's also one thing I pointed out. Blake Bortles has no fear. He will take some chances. He did it in the red zone with Allen Hurns, threw it on the goal line in the one pass where Weddle broke up. Those are all good things. He continues to be aggressive. He continues to try to extend the play to make plays happen. That part of it and confidence level is there. I just, he feels bad because he, want to put it on his shoulders and, himself. And, he felt like he let the team down and didn't give them everything that he had to offer. But that's like everybody in that locker room. That's like the coaching staff as well.
Gus, you've been around this a long time. How's the, you just had a meeting, how's the locker room? Nobody expected this to be 1-3.
Right. I'm not going to sit here and say they're great, because they're not. They're hurting. And, but the text, that you receive, the talking, the conversation that you have with the players, I have no doubt how they're going to approach this. And I say that with all confidence.
Gus, when Dante jumped over the tackle and was called for leverage, was he not aware of the rule, caught up in the moment? What was it?
A little bit caught up in the moment. He was aware of a rule that you can't do that.
I guess the direct question is, he had been coached that that's illegal.
Yeah, he knew you couldn't jump over and use somebody to extend yourself over. And if you make contact, it's a foul. So heat of the moment, passionate, still no excuse. You've got to be able to play with poise.
I find that about Blake's improved accuracy. Can you explain at all how he only has 3 first quarter touchdowns in his career? I mean, do you have any understanding or explanation as to why that?
No, I think we all look at that. Here defensively, I felt like we started fast. The first opportunity was in the logo area, and we got a 3 and out. And then the second opportunity, they were backed up. We got a 3 and out. That's starting fast. That's great signs defensively. Offensively, the first 5 drives, we had like 60 yards total offense, out of 22 plays. That's not starting fast. So, you constantly look at, you're trying to establish the run game. We took some shots in those plays, but it comes back to, I think, third down is a big part of it as well. And we missed on some third downs to extend the drive.
Fourth down for Baltimore at midfield that last drive. Grobbs was lined up ahead of the marker. What the call was there?
The fourth down that they converted? Yeah, we're in man coverage.
So do you need Grobbs to be more aggressive there?
Yeah, we'd like to see the whole defense be more aggressive there.
I find it interesting that fans are using the word accountability a lot as they used to assign blame, because it's a word that you use a lot of times. Is there an example, without giving away any trade secrets, how with a member of your staff or a player team that you've held them accountable specifically, that you can mention to them, saying, hey, we're enforcing this?
Well, I think we try to keep what we do inside on the inside, but we just did a 60-play cut-up with the whole team. So.
Because like if you've ever said, player, hey, you didn't do this on the field, you're being benched for this play or this series or something like that.
Without indulging too much into it.
I'm not calling anyone out necessarily.
Yeah. No, I think that when you point out penalties, you point out missed opportunities, or you point out things to the players, and they understand that. I mean, that's my job to do that. And so, we have that's all the time in position meetings and team meetings and things like that are taking place. So, it's always, those players understand it, but for everybody to see it was important.
Gus, we're hearing from a frustrated fan base asking for changes at all levels of the organization. Anything you can say to the fans who are frustrated during this time?
Well, I understand the NFL is very passionate, and they're passionate fan base for our team. And no one wants to get it more right than us, and the coaches and the players, and we're doing everything we can, and we got to find more. As I said last night, we got to extract more from everybody, and but clearly understand what they're looking for, and we've got to find ways to help this team understand what it takes to win.
Can you talk a little bit about the impact that Paz and Telvin Smith had in you guys did a much better job of stopping the run yesterday and setting up more third and long situations for them?
Right, yeah. Both those two guys are playing at a high level, a really high level. Puz had another double-digit tackle game and an interception. Telvin is the one, too, that I think he's really grown. I think he's got a real high comfort level in what's asked of him. He's playing extremely fast on the field, and those two guys are playing really well right now.
Gus, do you have enough veterans in your locker room who understand the nuance between winning and losing in the NFL to pass that on to a lot of your young players?
Yeah, I think they do a good job of it. But I think that's what this meeting was about, too, just to ensure that we understand.
That there is a small step between that and 2 of the 3 of your games.
It is, you know, and, you know, to look back and say, oh, we could have been or should have been, you know, I'm not into looking in the past very much like that. But to point out the opportunities, and, you know, you'd like to see this team, when you're in those situations, take ownership and say, let's roll. And, you know, a guy like Brandon Linder is a strong presence in our offensive line, a very, very strong presence. You know, I don't know if we missed that presence yesterday. You know, but if you do, then someone's got to step up and be that presence.
Do you anticipate Linder and Beecham playing this week?
We'll see. I know they're, you know, been meeting with the trainers. They made pretty good progress last week, so I know Beecham's still in the concussion protocol.
And Audric?
Audric is more
Same
week
thing.
to week. We'll see with him.
Got Shatley and Reed do.
You know, Shatley did a good job for, you know, some of the things you could see with the penetration came in that, you know, more in the A gaps. But overall, you know, for going in there in his first opportunity to play, you know, did a good job. I mean, with the protections and you know, calling out some of the schemes that we were doing. But, you know, just needs to improve.
In looking to extract more from your players, like you said, is there anything that you're still seeing on the practice field that isn't getting translated onto the game day field?
There is some things on the practice field that we're seeing that aren't showing up in the game field, and I think we're playing pretty consistently on the practice field. I think of defensively, though, I think it is. I think that what we're seeing on the practice field is showing up on the game field. Yesterday, for example, offensively, some of the things we're seeing on the practice field are showing up, some of that inconsistency. And, you know, last week we addressed that and went through it. And, you know, but there's, you know, we got to continue to work. We saw improvement, but still not to the standard we need.
Is it time at all to sprinkle in any big picture message, like Kansas City was 1-5 last year, made the playoffs, or is it still just one game at a time?
Well, I think the big picture is we got to win now. You know, we've got to find a way. And, you know, but it still goes back to our process. It still goes back to what does it take to get this. We can all sit here and talk about we got to win, we must win, we got to, all right, that's great. But what do we need to do here? What do we need to do today? What do we need to do tomorrow? And, you know, that part of it. And that's what this team is still learning and coming together on. And, you know, we just got to keep challenging them.
How tough is it, excuse me, Mike, how tough is it to separate for you personally? Hey, you see some signs that they're 0-3. How much patience does my owner have? I mean, how do you mentally put this in separate compartments in that way?
Well, from Dave and Chad, I've got great support. So that part, you know, I don't worry about. Right now, my whole attention is to, you know, I just think of it, it'd be selfish to think of me or anybody else other than those players in the locker room and our coaching staff.
Gus, how do you keep Blake from putting too much on himself offensively when you're not able to run the ball? The only way to move it really is
Well, I do think running the ball would help him, obviously. It would take some pressure off him. I think sometimes when you can run the ball, it opens up some of those play passes. We had a play action pass yesterday, the interception they had, and the linebacker got 20 yards deep. You know, they're not honoring the run, you know, very much. So then it's tough to run play passes when they're not honoring the run. So again, a lot of times your explosive passes come off of play passes. So I think they go hand in hand. So I think we can take more of a burden off of him by finding a way to run the ball.
But 3 games haven't been able to do that, so how do you...
Well, that's what, you know, our meetings, obviously we met a little bit offensively. Everybody was grading the film and watching and talking, but we started those conversations, and that will be the conversations this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow. And, you know, what's the direction we're going from here?
Is there a way to just, instead of running it, use like a short passing game to kind of take some of the pressure off that run or in place of run?
Right. I think short passes, you know, some people say it's like a run, you know. I still think it's very important. For times like yesterday, when you're in a 4-minute situation and you have to run the ball, you know, I think it's critical that, you know, we just got to keep going at it.
Gus, Brett asked you about how the players, the outlook of the players in the locker room. What about the coaching staff? How do you guys feel after you're implementing all this stuff for an entire summer and there's consistently mistakes and errors that you guys probably coached during the summer?
Well, I think the coaches they probably reiterate the same things I'm saying. It's how can we help our players play better? How can we position them to make more plays? How can we help this scheme? How can we help this? What is there different ways? Is there different things? And can we teach it differently? Can, you examine everything, and so they're in the same mindset. And they're in tune to our team and our players and what we can do to help them.
What was the key to limiting their explosive plays yesterday? I think they only like 3 for 4 the whole game.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job staying on top. They're a shot team, and they like to take shots with their speed on the perimeter, and I think we stayed on top pretty well. It's which we didn't the week before. I thought there's times we lost that, but to see that, it's an example of something getting re-emphasized and the guys taking ownership to it.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you.